The more you look into the UFO and ET reality, it becomes clear that we've had interactions through the whole of human history. Certainly when you look at the translations of the ancient Sumerian text, it becomes clear that we've had these interactions with the Anunnaki that supposedly genetically engineered the modern human beings. Some of the pharaohs may have been of an extraterrestrial origin, but they had advanced technology, a technology that generally we are not allowed to know about. But of all the pharaohs, the one that you would have to say most likely was to be an extraterrestrial was Akhenaten. He always demanded that he was shown in his true likeness, which was very unusual for those of you who are familiar. You know, statues and carvings of Akhenaten. He has a really unusual body form, an elongated skull. What's even more amazing is that his children as well have these sort of elongated skulls that look very much like extraterrestrials or hybrids. The pyramids we see all over the world, they're not just in Egypt. You know, some huge pyramids in China through to Bosnia, and of course the pyramids in Mexico. The modern era of ufology probably began with the Roswell incident, the crash of the UFO, the retrieval of the disc, the debris and the bodies. Now it's estimated there's something like 600 witnesses that have spoken out now, first, second and third hand witnesses, about the reality of the Roswell crash being extraterrestrial. And just one of those includes Colonel Phil Corso, a military person who has said he actually saw one of the bodies from the crash, and of course spoke out later saying that he worked at the Pentagon, at the Army's Research and Development Department in the 60s, where he was tasked with seeding some of the technology from Roswell into mainstream industry through the government contracting programs. Was Roswell actually an accident, or was it like a Trojan horse event to deliver that technology into mainstream? In July 1952, we had over 500 UFO sightings in the USA, including about 70 over Washington, D.C. On the 26th of July, 52, there were 12 UFOs seen and filmed over Capitol Hill and the White House. And these were tracked on 3 different radar systems, including from Andrews Air Force Base. And then just a few weeks later, the biggest military exercise after the Second World War happened towards the end of September in 1952. This was a major military exercise in the North Sea, Scandinavian and Baltic waters, involving military forces from Britain, Belgium, Canada, with about 200 ships, 1,000 planes and 80,000 men, including the USS Franklin D. Roosevelt aircraft carrier, which was the first ship to carry nuclear weapons. Now, during the maneuvers, there were many UFO and unidentified submersible objects recorded, including luminous triangular objects, disc-shaped objects rising out of the sea, and a quarter-mile wide underwater object which was tracked following the carrier that then flew out of the sea. There's a major stumbling block that faces humanity, and that is that we're being told by mainstream media and astronomy that advanced life probably only exists on Earth, and there is no evidence for UFOs or ETs coming here. Meanwhile, looking at the actual abundant evidence of UFO and ET interactions, it becomes clear that not only do they exist, that they've been interacting for thousands of years, but also they've been communicating with us in many forms. This can be from physical contact with abductees, contactees, and certain military personnel, communicating either verbally, telepathically, or via projected imagery. So if we are to understand the motives and agendas of the different ET beings, we need to interpret these in communications and also learn how we can communicate back.